Pauline Joseph, your host of the Straight Off the Bat series, hosted by Bankers Association of Trinidad Tobago. This is a new Facebook Live series, a show that covers the need to revive, survive, and adapt to the new normal. I'm your host, as I mentioned before, Pauline. I am going to ask the questions about money because I have so many of them, and I'm sure you do too. And today we're going to cover a conversation about e-commerce with Mark Cape. He is the manager of sales, e-payments, and business development in the electronic banking unit of First Citizens Bank. If you're a business owner trying to get your business online or a consumer who isn't familiar with purchasing products from a local website, I know you use Amazon. Shh. Stick around. We're going to find out what's available for e-commerce, and we will take your questions in the last 15 minutes of the show. Before we begin, make sure to smash that follow button on Facebook because you'll be notified the next time you go live on Bankers Association of Trinidad Tobago Facebook page. So with that introduction, let us introduce Mark Cape. Here we go. I'm going to make sure that we are clear. Can you hear me, Mark?
Yes, I can. Hi, Pauline. How are you?
Great. I am good. Thank you so very much. I just want to have a disclaimer for the folks out there. Remember, this is live, so please bear with us. There may be some delays when we ask a question and we are trying to communicate with each other. So, Mark, thank you so much for saying yes to sharing your time. And I want to get a little bit of a backstory with banking because you have close to 2 decades in the industry.
I don't look at you. I don't look at no.
Well, yeah. Where did this all begin? How come you chose the financial sector?
All right. Well, good morning again, Pauline. Good morning to all the viewers. And I just want to say before I begin, a special good morning to all the SCA students who are in the process of getting your results. It's been a hard journey, but good luck. You're going to do fantastic. And, this is just a stepping stone. So good luck to everyone today. As Pauline said, my name is Mark Cape, manager sales, e-payments, and business development at First Citizens. And how did this journey into banking begin? Honestly, by accident. I'm a Fatima old boy coming out of school, looking for a job, applied to the bank. I remember getting a call from the bank and they said, are you willing to work shift? That was the only question. And I was like, sure. And I interviewed and I became a computer operator in the ICT department within the bank. Little did I know that that job would later on become a career in banking. A couple of years later, an opportunity arose for a program analyst position. I was a little hesitant at first, however, took a chance and it paid off. Worked my way over the years into management, managing that software development team that had a supporting role to the electronic banking unit. I've always had an affinity for electronic banking, a love for it, if you say, because I believe technology should be an enabler, not a deterrent. And the bank has so many solutions that have been part of over the years that really enhances the customer experience. I've been involved in the launch of online banking, the first wireless terminal, contactless technology, chip cards. Most recently, partnering with Massy Stores to do the first self-service checkout payment system of its kind in Trinidad. So I've been involved in a lot of projects, a lot of upgrades over the years. Really working with a top-notch ICT team. And then last year, I decided to make the crazy move. I left ICT and I moved to the electronic banking business unit. That was an eye-opener. It allowed me to work closer with the customers and our merchants, understand their pain points, their needs, their wants, their future requirements. It really was an eye-opener. Really and truly, one of my proudest moments was teaching my 86-year-old father to use online banking so that he did not have to go into the branch to do the simplest of transactions. And I really wanted to bring that simplicity and that knowledge to the electronic banking unit. it really has been an amazing journey. The bank's directives, strategic objectives stand on two pillars, which would be, the customer experience and technology. And I think now I have an appreciation of both worlds. Truth be told, if I was not in banking, I probably would have been a chef. Anyone who knows me knows that I love to cook. That is my passion. The kitchen is my solace. That is what I really love to do. So maybe in another lifetime. But that is really Mark Cape's banking experience in a nutshell.
Well, I can relate to what you mentioned with your dad, because my mom was like, I need a new phone, and she wanted to get something online. I said, well, just do it. No, well, just use your card. I said, why can't you use your card? Oh, you can do those things online?
Yeah.
Yes, mom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's get straight into this very popular term, e-commerce, and just to give some folks a backdrop here, because I did some research in how people search for the word e-commerce, and in Trinidad and Tobago, it's actually not as popular as online shopping. So people, and this is within the commercial sector, are trying to find ways to get folks to be able to pay for these services online, because obviously not just the inconvenience of putting on a mask, which I know folks saying just get over with, but we are a society where we drive as close to the entrance of a mall as possible, so convenience takes priority to anything else. And with that said, to be able to go online, and I have the data, I see the data. Amazon has always been the top 10 visited sites in the Caribbean for the last 10 years. I mean,
correct.
Basically, over the last 3 to 4 years, it's been the top 5 because of the ease of PO boxes. So that's a long introduction. But I want to be clear out there for folks who may not understand the term, because I know Mark is very technical in that sense. And don't worry, I will ask him the questions if I'm not clear on it. But we are seeing a shift in the commercial sector for e-commerce. So, Mark, in your terms, with your experience, what is e-commerce?
All right, so Pauline, don't worry. I am technical, but I'm going to make it as simple as possible. E-commerce is really the buying and selling of goods online. Plain and simple. It's a transactional process, right? There are really 4 different types of e-commerce. There is the B2C, business to consumer, and that the perfect example you touched on it is Amazon. Everybody knows to go online, put something in your cart, send it to your skybox. Everybody's familiar with that process, but there are actually other types of e-commerce. The next type of e-commerce is B2B, business to business. This is not really popular in the retail market. This is where one business offers services online to another. And a perfect example of this is where a company would offer a cloud solution or a software as a service to another company. The third type of e-commerce is C2C, customer to customer. And the perfect example of this is eBay. I have a skateboard and I want to sell it online. I put it on eBay, somebody bids for it, and they purchase it. So that's consumer to consumer. And the fourth type of e-commerce is C2B, which is customer to business. How can a customer provide goods and services to a business? The perfect example of that are these influencers online. So basically, you have a company and you have either clothing or, I see it a lot with energy drinks. And, I will promote your brand on my Facebook, Instagram page for a fee online. And that is a perfect example of consumer to business e-commerce. The other natural progression of e-commerce is what I like to refer to as m-commerce, mobile commerce, where you're performing payments within an app. The easiest and the perfect example for that is Uber. Uber, you pay for your ride beforehand and you pay within app. And when you have, a population, and these figures come from the Telecommunication Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, TAT, when you have a population of 1.7 million, but you have 1.85 mobile subscriptions, it shows you how the mobile market has been penetrated. So it's important that we also focus on m-commerce and not just e-commerce. Yeah.
Yes, and you can see it in the numbers of usage with social media because people use social media on
Correct.
their mobiles, you know,
Correct.
and if it's not accessible on your phone, you lose out as a sale as a business owner, right? Because it's in real time. Like, okay, I'm scrolling through my Instagram news feed. Oh wait, I love this dress. I want to pay for it. And funny enough, I see a lot of international companies offering worldwide shipping now.
Correct.
And
Correct.
I want to start first from, you know, the international options. So you have things like PayPal, Pioneer, all these different options that have this caveat, which is, you know, you have to pay through US one. And this is me talking from experience. Trust me, I know. With PayPal, for instance, you have a delay of 30 days. And you also are not able to tie back in your e-commerce store, right? So it's like a cart experience. Nobody wants to sign up to create a PayPal account to pay for the dress. They want a seamless experience, right? So when it comes to that integration of a platform or what's available, what first of all would be challenges with what's out there, because I kind of touched on a few points, and then from that question, if you can let me know what solutions are available through First Citizens Bank.
Okay. All right, great. Well, as you said, so one of the major options is indeed PayPal. It's been popular for many years. It served this purpose. There are challenges with it in terms of, you know, it's not regulated. You must purchase items in US, and we understand the Forex situation. You know, sometimes Forex is difficult to get. And then, you know, there are challenges with PayPal, for instance. Well, one, it's an expensive product. And two, there are times when PayPal, because it's not regulated, can freeze your funds for 1, 3 months, 6 months, and you really have no recourse. So PayPal in itself, it's a tool that people use. However, you know, it does have its challenges. So what is available right now through First Citizens? But I want to add some context. So, you know, we're in COVID, and, you know, SMEs have been severely impacted by the pandemic, right? And when we talk in SMEs, you have to remember that 85% of your businesses fall under the SME category, which translates to about 40,000 direct jobs, right? Businesses really have to reinvent themselves and really think differently. You know, I went to a store. Well, you know, I have a 4-year-old daughter, Emmeline. She's watching. Morning, honey. And you know, she loves Disney princesses. And when this Mulan movie came out a few weeks ago, I said I would buy her a Mulan doll. And there's a store in Port of Spain I would walk past every morning. And I remember Wednesday I walked past, it was closed. Thursday I walked past, it was closed. I was like, oh my God, this store probably closed down due to COVID. And but on Friday when I walked past and I saw it open, I was like, oh great. Ran in, bought the doll. And I was speaking to the owner of the store. He's like, I thought you had closed and whatnot. And he said, honestly, due to COVID, you know, the walkthroughs are very slow. And, you know, he makes most of his money now advertising all the products on Instagram and Facebook. And I was like, that's fantastic. You know, but how are you doing payments? And he's like, well, cash on delivery. And I was like, cash on delivery. Let's have a discussion. So e-commerce First Citizens has offered e-commerce since 2013. I was actually on that project when we first introduced it. And an e-commerce integration, honestly, can take anywhere from 1 month to 3 months, dependent on your technical capabilities, you know, your knowledge of plugins, and of course, you must have your own website to be able to integrate into that payment gateway. Right, just, you know, First Citizens partners with an international gateway called First Atlantic Commerce. A lot of benefits to that, but I will get into that later. So for your man on the street, your normal e-commerce may not be the best solution. I am very happy to announce that this week, First Citizens launched their Easybiz platform. All right, and this platform is really a game changer, just due to the simplicity of using this product. It's not just an e-commerce solution; it's an all-in-one solution. You're able to do automate invoicing and accounting on this solution, get real-time reporting in terms of funds going into your account. You're able to actually create a web storefront using the solution. You can manage all your inventory. I mean, it's an all-in-one solution. But I haven't even gotten to the best part yet. This solution comes with a product or a solution called payment buttons. A payment button is essentially a link that you can use to accept payments on any social media platform, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can even send this via WhatsApp. You can send this link via email. I mean, it is super simple to use. And let me explain to you. Let me give you two use cases. So let's say you sell candles. You don't have a Facebook page, but you sell and advertise your candles on Instagram. And what you can do, you can create a payment button for each one of your candles, link it on your Instagram photos. So I see a lavender candle, and I want 3 of those candles. I select how many, and I click on that link that you have created in like 30 seconds. Click on that link, it will direct you to the payment page. You put in your relevant information, and boom, transaction completed. Funds will be credited to your account within 48 hours. Another example I like to give is, let's say I own a catering company and somebody offers, places an order for 300 beef pies, 200 sausage rolls, 40 cheese puffs. You can basically create an invoice using this solution, create a payment button based on that invoice, email it to the customer, or even WhatsApp it to the customer, and you click on it, they make the payment, funds are directly in your account. And this is really a game changer within the e-commerce space, because it makes it just so simple for the man on the street, the SME, to now accept online payments. Yeah.
That's exciting.
It is.
I can't wait till I could actually pay for stuff in local companies with my card, because I want to be honest, I'm lazy. And you mentioned, and we spoke about this before, about the social button.
Pauline, I lost you there for a moment. I'm not hearing you. Are you hearing me?
Oh gosh, sorry about that. We're going,
It's
the
live.
internet.
It's live.
We're
It's
trying
live,
to
people.
figure it out. My apologies, I
No
think.
problem. No problem.
So just want to remind everybody that we want to, if you have any questions, make sure to go into the comment section. And I got you. I'm going to ask Mark all your questions in the last 15 minutes. But I want to take a step back for a bit, Mark, and talk about the process, right? Because you have a lot of folks who are navigating this thing for the first time, right? So let's go back to what folks would have to do to set up your e-commerce, right? So you're thinking about things like a website, an inventory system, the payment gateways, as you mentioned, with FAC. And then the bank also requires a lot of information, because it's almost as if you treat e-commerce like a separate business, right? Because it comes with different expenses and so forth.
Right.
Right. So what does a small business owner have to be aware of when they are transitioning from, they have a store, as you mentioned, with your daughter trying to get a product? What do they have to be aware of? What would be the top 3 things, for instance?
I'm going to do it from a requirements perspective first, right? So, and also let me point out that, sorry, remember I mentioned that a normal e-commerce solution can take anywhere from 1 to 3 months to get you integrated. With this Easybiz solution, you could come in on a Monday, and by the Friday, once you have an account already with First Citizens, you could be accepting payments online. Now, I'm sorry, I'm gonna read off a piece of paper because I just want to make sure that I'm very clear in terms of the requirements. So first, you must, unfortunately, you must have an account with First Citizens. So that is the first process, is really about opening up an account. Now, what I'm going to do, I've shared already with Pauline, or I will share the link to the site. It's just to let you know, for those who have a paper and pencil, it's firstcitizensAccess.com/easybiz. So if
we will. Sorry to cut you, but we are putting it in the comments. So
lovely, perfect.
Okay.
So they have it already. Great, lovely.
Yes.
Right. So if you click on that site, it will guide you through the entire registration process. We're trying to make this, as I said, simple, easy, fast. There are some requirements in terms of you must bring, 2 forms of ID. We have the application form online, which you will complete. Copies of it must be a registered business. You must bring your registration documents. I don't want to go too much into details because, of course, there are different requirements for if you're a limited liability company, if it is, your partnership, if you're a sole trader, all that information will be provided online. But that is really for the account opening process. Once it is you have the account, we will guide you through the integration process with the gateway. We're going to make it as super simple as possible. Once it is you go through that process, you're going to be given a username and password to link to the site. And when you go on this site, you're going to be amazed. I mean, you can basically create a web storefront within 20 minutes. So let's say, I gave an example of candles. Let's say it's Pauline's Candles. You can literally create that URL, paulinescandles.com or whatever. And basically everybody can be referenced to your store. Of course, on the site itself, you will set up all your inventory, all your products and services that you provide. There's an invoicing suite, which of course you must have inventory to use the invoice. And the great thing with the payment, I think this payment button is one of the simplest things I've ever used. It is literally a cut and paste feature, right? You could literally, when you go on the site, you set up the invoice and you click share to, and it comes up with, do you want to share to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp? Do you want to send in an email? It is that easy. But the first process, of course, setting up an account, and then we guide you through the application process to put your business online. But it is super easy, super simple.
I want to ask about that transition, right? Because I myself, because I'm in a digital space, sometimes I take for granted the difficulty of being accustomed to being in a retail space and shifting over to the digital space, right? Hi guys, I'm seeing all of your questions. If you're joining us for the first time, I have you. We're gonna answer them in the last 15 minutes. So what is the biggest challenge that you've encountered with small business owners, like with that transition across to digital? Because it's not just, I have an e-commerce store, right? It's an entire shift on the way that they're thinking. So what would you say is the biggest challenge that you've seen with SME owners?
I think there are 2 challenges. The challenge is on the merchant side, and the challenge is also changing the mindset of the customer. From a merchant perspective, you're thinking about, this brick and mortar. My dream has always been to have a store and have all my products and services. How do I get all this over to an e-commerce site? And then also it's about the technical know-how. Normally with e-commerce, you had to understand websites, and you had to understand plugins, and you had to understand the integration process, and you had to understand all about how to deal with sensitive credit card data. You have to do none of these things using this Easybiz solution. And the challenge on the customer side, I think really and truly, you touched on it earlier, that people are accustomed to going online on Amazon and sending stuff to a skybox, but they don't seem to be comfortable in terms of using local e-commerce and local e-commerce sites. But the landscape is changing. You have to reinvent your business model. And once it is you have a secure product, a consistent product, a consistent service, then people are going to gravitate towards it. For instance, and you see the changes. I mean, over this COVID period, you've seen large retailers like Price Mart and True Value and Massey Stores offering curbside service. You've seen even the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago offering e-commerce services as well. You can go online now and order your a copy of your birth certificate, your marriage certificate, and have it delivered straight to your door. Even last week was restaurant week, and of course, these restaurants are being impacted that they can't have any dine-in service, so they reinvented the model, and basically this whole restaurant week, in fact, has been actually extended. Everything was online. You could order, you can use Food Drop, you can use different services to have it delivered straight to your door. And once it is you have that consistency with the customers, they're going to use the service more and more. But it's about changing the mindset of our customers. For years, there's a service where you could actually go online and go to Movie Town and purchase your tickets beforehand. And people do not use it as much. They rather go there, line up, go early, drive to Movie Town, buy your tickets just to have it in hand. And that's really our mindset. We need to change from the customer perspective as well, not just the merchant perspective. And it's also about, you remember, when it is you purchase something in a store, you have instant gratification. I have it in my hand, and I've received this product. If it is you're doing it online, you have to make sure that not just that the payment is seamless, but that your delivery of the product is seamless, that you have a refund policy in place in case there's a problem with the product. I mean, and these are all the things you kind of have to think of when you're putting your business online, not just from an e-commerce perspective, but from the customer experience perspective.
And we actually had a session on fraud.
I saw, yes.
For those who are, yes. So, and I think that's an important factor that folks have to consider. And I feel very passionate when you talk about people not trusting local sites. I mean, we will need more than an hour, because I feel that the fact that folks are willing to pay for something through Amazon, right? Mm-hmm. Wait 2 to 3 weeks, because not only are you looking to pay for the shipping, because you have to wait on the shipping, but you
Correct.
have to pay for the customs, right?
Customs,
and that, this is factual. It's so up in the air, and sometimes you're not sure about what that tax is going to look like when it's landing. But that has been like that for so long, and people are still willing to pay for stuff, right? And this is where I get passionate and say we as business owners need to create content on social media that drives trust, because we have this thing where we just want to put a website and say, come.
Yeah.
Show up,
And the thing is, Pauline, series like this will educate the customer, because I'm sure we're going to touch about, what security is in place to protect both the merchant and the customer. But I wanted to touch on something that will actually drive e-commerce even more within the local ecosystem. So we touched on it several times. To do an e-commerce transaction, you must have a credit card. Right?
Sorry.
You didn't time that.
I'm like, I had flashbacks of my t-shirt. Sorry, go ahead.
So we must have a credit card, right? But the thing is, a lot of people do not have a credit card. So if it is that I have and then too, a lot of merchants don't want to pay, of course, the associated credit card fees. The great thing is, in your fraud session last week, they touched on a lot about skimming of cards, skimming of the magstripe. And you may not be aware, several of the banks have started to migrate their existing debit card portfolio to chip and pin EMV technology, right? The primary purpose of that shift and partnering with Visa International was to get that chip on the card to prevent any skimming, because a chip cannot be cloned, not at this point in time. So it really is a safety mechanism. The added benefit is now that very soon, your local debit cards are going to be able to also do e-commerce. So basically, not everybody may have a credit card, but a lot of people have a credit card, but a lot of people have a debit card. So once it is you have a debit card, very soon you'll be able to go online in these local e-commerce sites and pay for goods and services. Yeah, so the SMEs are going to benefit from a wide range of customers who previously only did not have a credit card, but only had a debit card. Yeah.
So is that exclusive? Did we hear it here first, or was that known before?
No, that's in there. I'm not sure how exclusive, but that's really one of the added benefits. I have the First Citizens card. I can't see it from but basically it comes equipped with everything to allow for an e-commerce transaction in the local payment space, which is big. That's huge, right? Not just First Citizens, the other banks as well.
Okay, so let's talk about your Easybiz solution. For those who thanks Ade Ines King, we saw that you put the link up. Thank you so much for that. We also pinned it to the top in the comments if you want to find out more about First Citizens Easybiz solution. Mm-hmm. So what about, and this is important with Forex, currency, because when you are charging somebody online, you have a limited amount of Forex that people are signed on. And when you are about to purchase something online, you're kind of like, should I? Because I only have, 4 weeks in this period. What are the options there?
Okay, so basically from an Easybiz perspective, the default is TTD currency. So you do not have to worry about an FX issue. All payments are done in TTD. You'll be credited to your account in TTD. So there's no Forex issue. We do have the ability to accept transactions, or you do have the ability to accept transactions in USD. However, those are subject to special approval. As Pauline said, there is a Forex constraint within Trinidad and Tobago. So special approval must be given. We will look at things like the industry, the manufacturing industry. Is your clientele an international clientele? Because you don't want somebody with a local First Citizens card doing USD payments. What you really want, and the onus will be on the website or the merchant to ensure that if they have a USD account or service, that they only accept foreign card holders. So you can't accept a TTD card and get USD. If it is a foreign card, so let's say you're offering something in terms of, because remember with e-commerce, you now open up yourself to an international market. You're not geographically restricted to Trinidad. So you have an international market. So I see somebody selling, I don't know, Tulum online, and I'm in the US and I want to order it, that's fine. But I in Trinidad can't pay for that Tulum in USD. You understand the difference?
Well, I'm so happy that you use Tulum because of my background. You have no idea. You have no idea. Okay, so I have one more question with the social buttons, because usually we take questions in the last 15 minutes, but the comment section is so lit right now. Oh my goodness. So I just want to, that's okay, that's all right. So I wanted to ask about the social buttons, right? Because, to start a website is overwhelming. And this Easybiz solution is exciting in the sense that you already you built, like I did some research on the makeup industry because I love it so much. And to see what businesses are doing with their social media platforms, yes, I know Ade mentioned like skip the line drop and these things, but it's more of a marketplace or a facilitator versus owning your own brand and saying, okay, I have these products to sell. But instead of taking the experience of the consumer from saying, okay, I love this blush, then I now have to go to the marketplace to pay for it versus, Instagram has that option because, let's be honest, social media want you to spend as much time as possible on their platforms. But if you have the attention of the customer, how is this social button going to change that business?
Right. So, yeah, I mean, social media is big. I gave the metrics earlier about the number of mobile users, and the chat also had. Let me see if I check it. There were 810,000 active social media users, and 740,000 mobile social media users. So you have a wide audience, a wide customer base there. I remember once checking my phone, and you can see your data usage and which apps allocated to your data usage. And I was very ashamed to see that Facebook and Instagram were at the top of the line. So let me clarify something with the payment button. If you want to use the payment button, because basically under the Easybiz, there are different options you can take. You can take the option to basically create payment buttons alone. You don't need to do a web storefront. So let's say, as you say, the makeup industry, you're selling makeup or makeup services. You can basically create those payment buttons or just payment links and attach them to your Instagram posts, separate and apart. So it's not like you're being redirected to a web page. So you're offering, sorry to use the term, you can basically select that link within the Instagram page and get routed directly to the payment gateway, where you would enter your credit card information, where you would hopefully soon be able to get debit card information, and you can complete the transaction immediately. All right, that is the difference. I hope maybe I wasn't clear earlier. It's not that you're being routed back to the web store from your Instagram page. Instagram or your social media page is where you're going to be doing your transacting.
We have a few folks who are joining us late, so you may have to repeat yourself a few times.
No problem.
Like, I have a Dennis here who just joined, and he's like, maybe, I'm late. So I was like, Dennis, where were you? Come on. But this is not a discussion about loans. This is about e-commerce, Dennis. So you're going to head over to Free Citizens Facebook page for that information. This is an e-commerce space right now, okay? All right.
So, if you don't mind, I can't touch on that for Dennis.
We don't have time, Mark.
Okay, no problem.
Dennis was late. We have so many questions.
Lovely.
I'm sorry, Dennis. I'm sorry. All right, cool. So I'm going through the questions here, and sorry for those who came for loans information. This is about e-commerce. So let's start with Lokan. He has asked, what about Linx being able to purchase online e-commerce?
Right. So I touched on that earlier. So basically, so I'll try to zoom in without giving away any critical information.
Hold on, wait a minute.
No, bro. It's okay. I just want to show you something. So this is the new First Citizens card that is replacing the old debit card. You will notice to the front that you have a Visa logo. We branded with Visa to basically facilitate the use of the chip and pin technology. But if you look to the back of the card, you're going to see a Linx logo. So these are still Linx cards. And very soon, I don't want to put my head on a block and say before the end of the year, you're going to be able to use your Linx card to purchase online, right? It's coming, and not just for citizens. I mean, all the banks, this is one of the requirements. You're going to be able to use your Linx card to do online e-commerce.
That is exciting. Lokan, you heard it first. So heading over to Marva, we did post the link, so check out the pin at the top for more information on the eBiz product. Also, does it allow international purchases?
So yes, it does allow for international purchases. You can do the international purchases in TTD, and as I mentioned before, in some cases based on your business model, it can, and if you get the approval, you can also accept international transactions in USD.
Okay, Marva, sorry, we have a lot of questions, so I'm just running through this. Okay, the next
Good.
question, Natalie wants to know, does this e-commerce have a maximum payment limit?
Yes, it does, but I know that that limit right now is still being finalized, which is one of the reasons it has not been launched yet. So there will be a limit, just as on your pause limit is $10,000, your ATM limit is $3,000 daily, and it cycles. There will be, of course, a payment limit, but I don't know what that exact limit is going to be at this point in time. But as soon as the banks make a decision, because remember, it's Linx. It's about all the banks making that decision. I'm sure it will be shared with the audience.
Natalie, that was an excellent question. Oh my goodness, you should be doing my
Good question, Natalie. Good question.
So Marva, clearly she is ready and raring to go. She has a web store already. And can the Easybiz solution be integrated into an existing website?
Yes, it can. So I mean, you have options. If you have a web store already and you just want to integrate into the payment gateway, we can go to the conventional route and use plugins, use a web developer, and integrate you into that payment gateway. That's one option. From an Easybiz perspective, yes, you can use the payment buttons within your website as well. But just to point out or to clarify, a payment button is sort of a static payment button, meaning if you're using the Easybiz web store, the people using it will get that Amazon experience where you can fill up your cart and then you check out your total at the end. If you're using the payment buttons on a website, the payment button is specific to a product or a service, if you understand what I mean. So you can have different products and then link a payment button to each service. So yes, it can be integrated with your existing store.
And that sounds like an excellent solution for when you have inventory as well, because it's very hard to be able to. Sorry, you have some feedback there. It's hard to be able to track everything and to use an Excel spreadsheet. Guys, if you're a business and you're doing that, please stop. I beg of you. Don't use an Excel spreadsheet. Please find automated solutions. All right. So I don't know what happened there. For some reason, I'm getting some very bad feedback. Let's see. All right. Okay. I wonder if that's me. All right. So we're moving on. All right, so this is not a question. I just want to say thank you, Anthony, for recognizing that this is an excellent presentation. So I am going through, sorry, Mark, I had to mute you because of the feedback. So the next question, and this is Bankers Association of Trinidad Tobago Facebook page, but this is a question that was asked, and I'm just going to ask it anyway from Shannon. Is this also available in Barbados?
That is an excellent question because, as you know, I'm on mute. I'm here still.
No, but for some reason, I'm getting some really bad feedback. So I'm also not hearing you. The audio is very poor. Let me try. Sorry, this is real time, guys. So just give me a second. Let's see. I just tried to. Hello. Okay, so what you could do for me is, could you come out and try and go again? I'm just gonna remove you. Can you just come out and re-enter into the studio? Let's see if that works. All right, so as he does that, my apologies, guys. We're working live, so trying to figure out certain things. If this is the first time you have joined the Bankers Association of Trinidad Tobago's page, make sure to follow. What the intention of this page is solely for is to educate. So it's about financial literacy, and we want to make sure that we are hearing your feedback. So if there's anything that you want to hear in the future in terms of learning about platforms and financial solutions, make sure to slide into the DMs or, send us a message on the Facebook wall, and we would definitely adhere to what you have to say. Also, if you head over to batt.org.tt, that's batt.org.tt, and sign up for the newsletter, you will get exclusive insights into future events. So, okay, let's try this again. Let's see. All right, so let's try this again. So the question is this also available in Barbados?
So that's an excellent question.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So Shannon, that's an excellent question because as you're aware, First Citizens does have a presence within Barbados. This solution is not available right now in Barbados, but look out for great things soon. That's all I can say. Not yet. Yet being the operative word.
All right. So I feel you, Shannon. Don't worry.
I got you, Shannon. I got you.
Been be trailing in other places. Don't worry, Auntie Mia. All right. So Laster Halls want to know if this is Fygaro.
Yes. So
Fygaro.
Basically, yes. This is Fygaro is the fintech that we have partnered with. As I mentioned, so the story behind it is that the gateway, First Atlantic Commerce, was having issue with they're primarily a payment gateway, and they were having problems with their invoicing platform. And Fygaro was an invoicing platform that was looking for a very secure payment gateway. So basically, they both merged a partnership, and we decided to use those services to give you a suite of products, Easybiz. So yes, this is in alignment with the Fygaro product. Yes.
So the next comment, because this is not a question, but I really love this comment from Mark because this is a huge pet peeve of mine. You're basically telling folks out there, business owners, no more DM for price.
No. So I know I can give you the price structure. So basically.
No, sorry, Mark. Let me explain. This is cultural. So what businesses do is they put up a product and they don't put the price. So they'll tell you DM for price.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's okay. That's not an FCB reference. Sorry,
okay,
First
gotcha.
Citizens Bank reference.
Not a problem.
All right. So Lorcan had a question about when the debit cards, but I mean you can't speak on that, so I'm just gonna head over to Andrew's question. Can the Easybiz system be integrated to the logistics process of delivery, also inventory management and order systems? And I know you mentioned the inventory management before, but maybe you can respond to this on a holistic perspective.
Yeah, no, this is an excellent question. So let me just, I want to take it this way. So logistics. So yes, it does have an inventory management built in. With regards to delivery, the payment gateway and Fygaro have a relationship with DHL. And you can basically download an API, an application programming interface, which will allow you to use the DHL courier services to deliver your products. And I would, of course, recommend that for if you are doing international deliveries. Yes, it does integrate with DHL postal service.
Okay. So the next question is a bit long and it's going to hide our faces, but what I want to do is just summarize it, right? So Mark wants to know more about the population that is underbanked, right? Or unbanked, and may not even have a credit card, which is challenging. Do you see any solutions to bridge the gap between the unbanked and them partaking in e-commerce?
That is an excellent question.
Agreed, Mark.
Excellent. That's the best question we've had.
And he has your namesake, so.
and namesake Mark, excellent question. Yes, the bank has taken that into consideration. You are right, because we spoke about, people may not have credit cards. People may not have a debit card even. How can they enter into the online space? The only thing I could say at this point in time is that Pauline may be inviting me within the next 6 to 9 months for a new solution that would really serve the unbanked in that online payment space. And that is all I'm allowed to say at this time. But excellent question. The banks have taken it into consideration, and we are working on something. That's all I can say at this time.
So that's where I would say make sure to subscribe to the Bankers Association of Trinidad and Tobago newsletter to get exclusive insight into these new services, whatever they may look like. Right? So Mary has a great question. She wants to know, how long does it take to set up the platform?
Let me make sure. So to set up, I just want to clarify. So hi, Mary. Setting up the platform. So in basically getting your approvals and actually getting access to the site. Well, if you have an account with First Citizens, the process takes about a week for you to get access and integrate it onto the system. Maybe a little longer, 2 weeks if we have to create the account. Once it is on the platform, I actually in the beginning of this project did a demo. I created a demo site, and I was able to create a very basic web storefront, products, invoice, and everything within a couple hours, right? So if it is, this is your business, this is your bread and butter, you're getting out of the brick and mortar, retail space. You're basically gonna create a store that is available 24/7, 365 days a year. You could basically get this platform set up within a day. You take a day and you dedicate it towards setting up your inventory, your products, your services. Within a day, you could have this completed.
Okay. So this, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to ask it, but I'm going to ask it because Curtis has a...
Don't ask it.
Well, I mean, we spoke about the currency situation. So they want to know the description pricing for Easybiz. This may not be a question for Mark, but I think it might be something that Free Citizens Bank could look at in terms of description pricing for Easybiz is listed in US.
So basically, as you mentioned before, we've partnered with a fintech called Fygaro, and they offer the service. For now, we are working where you will you pay them directly for the invoicing service, right? No fee comes to First Citizens. So for right now, it is in USD. However, very soon we're working towards that will be a TTD price. So excellent question, and we are working towards it.
Okay, great. So there's a question here from Mark again, because Mark seems to be quite in the in the knowledge, wants to know about knowledge. So highlighting the points raised in the national budget a few days ago in terms of digitalization, with the Bankers Association of Trinidad and Tobago or First Citizens Bank be providing any initiatives for local developers to create solutions? So I want to answer that question from a Bankers Association Trinidad and Tobago perspective, and I'll leave Mark to answer on his end. But I mentioned this earlier, and I will say it again because we do have folks joining during the course of the call. The purpose of this Bankers Association of Trinidad and Tobago Facebook Live series is exactly that, to drive the education and literacy around the financial industry. So that will mean, looking at technical aspects, but we are only going to know if you tell us. So slide into that DM now. There's any time, Mark, you can slide into the DM. So Mark, yes. So about on your end for First Citizens Bank.
Yes, I mean not officially. Over the years I have worked with several local developers, fintechs, and I always encourage people, if you have a solution, hey, I'm going to give you an opportunity, come into the bank, let's see what you have, let's see how you could work with you. I believe, the government spends so much money on GATE and on education. We have all these people who have, and that's just my personal, we have a lot of bright people. We could be the epicenter of the world in terms of, development and software delivery and whatnot. So yes, the bank is here to support, and I am here to support. And if you believe that, you have a solution, an innovative solution that can benefit, customers, merchants, reach out, we're here to support.
Great. So I want to pause on the Q&A because I gave you guys way more than 15 minutes. So if you have any specific bank-related questions, things like opening an account or a loan, please head over to your bank's different communication platforms or digital assets, may it be social media or their website. This is about financial literacy and the education around it, right? So in closing, because we only have a couple of minutes, I want you to share some final words because, folks are trying to cope with this drastic change, especially as an SME owner, which I am one as well. It can become a bit overwhelming because you're dealing with the shift of, something that you were accustomed doing, also the lack of planning. That's one of the things that I have an issue with, the inability to plan, right? So what advice would you give to SME owners who may be a bit confused and they have so many things that are happening during this time as it relates to shifting their business online? What would you tell them?
Right. You spoke to it well. I mean, we're really in an unprecedented time. I mean, 2020 and COVID-19 really threw us, under the bus. And the banks are here to support and guide you through this process. Early in the year when this happened, all the banks, did loan deferrals, reduced interests, waived any fees or penalties, for instance, like POS terminals. We're here to assist. And the next phase of our assistance is to help you evolve into the e-commerce ecosystem. You really have to reinvent your business model. It cannot be business as usual. You cannot, do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. You don't need a brick and mortar, business place. You have an opportunity here to easily integrate into a global platform. You're not geographically restricted to Trinidad. And some people in South, we want to come up north to buy something. You now have the ability to service everybody in Trinidad and Tobago, as well as an international audience. Your business, you're no longer mandated by mall hours or opening hours. You have a 24/7, 365 a day business. You have lower costs. You don't have to worry about rental and commercial rental and utilities. You don't have to do anything. And I just want to touch on something as well. We understand the crime situation in Trinidad. It's happening. It's real. Do you want to be out there accepting cash and going to deliver? You understand what I mean? You can have these payments in your account safely without that level of interaction. You don't have to worry about, studying security for your business space. You don't have to worry about any of these things. And First Citizens is here to navigate you through the process. Yes, it can be a little daunting, but we are here to help. It's so funny. Last year, around the same time, I maybe would have integrated 3 e-commerce merchants a quarter. And in the last month alone, we may have integrated close to, last 3 months, may have integrated over 30 people onto the e-commerce platform. Don't get left behind. This is where payments are going, and we are here to assist. First Citizens, we put you first.
You had to. You just had to.
I had to.
Thank you so much for sharing your time, and seeing the comments is very overwhelming. Thank you guys. You don't understand. I feel emotional, happy, because everybody's saying how great this session was and they've learned so much. So great. Clearly we're doing something right.
Right.
All right. So I am going to close off with reminding you guys, this is the Bankers Association of Trinidad and Tobago Facebook Live series. It is straight off the bat, a show that covers the need to revive, survive, and adapt during the new normal of COVID-19. We are going to have these Facebook live sessions regularly, so make sure to slide into DMs if there's anything that you need to learn about. Let us know. Don't worry, I got you. So make sure you head over to batt.org.tt, that's batt.org.tt, to subscribe to the newsletter and get exclusive insights. I mean, you heard it. Well, some of you may have heard it first, right? For the Visa debit and the Linx debit. So, hi, giving you a lot of information here. Okay, a lot. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, and I hope you have an amazing day ahead. And I can't wait for you to join me on the next session. Bye, guys.